Okay, family, I bring warm greetings to una from the TNN TV media empire. This na the TNN podcast. My name na Prince Emil Koma. Today na the 15th of October. It's a Wednesday, 2025, and the time na my is exactly 1800 hours, 6 p.m. on my side. We will be 5 p.m. na Salone. Obviously, we don't promise they can't run much on this talk we happen in terms of diplomatic passport. So we get one or two story them we want to talk about. I think we will lay the premise on two parts, if not three. One of them obviously will be the diplomatic book or service passports, as we can like for column, entitlement, Uda entitled. Because I believe say there are three layers of we kind of books them, if not more, but I know about three. A, you get the diplomatic book. B, you get the service book. And then you get the ordinary, where ordinary people like we, now that's nine we get. There might be other categories because the way government they operate sometimes is very complex. And there are things that we know and there are things that we don't know. But what is important is it's a good lesson for let we talk about things then we know about. And if we speculate, it will find for let we use, phrase or words such as alleged or as reported, even though we can question more when you say as reported by whom. So now the three aspects and then the way I want to deal with within the context of what happened recently, in which a drug lord was nabbed, a Turkish drug lord was nabbed in I think that the UAE, United Arab Emirates, in conjunction with the Turkish government, with the Interpol, they right now in the middle, is good for no say once we don't begin to understand what Interpol is, because I remember in the advent of Adebayo, even the government of Salone, when they talk about using Interpol or its minions, when they talk about using Interpol for extradite, get hold of Adebayo and extradite them. Will not be make sense at all. I mean, that was so much stupid that it was unbelievable, but now believable because we know some people, where they make this noise now empty-headed, numbskulls, if you like. Program is going to be short, but raw, straight to the point. So we know say married we get for sweet. This now a famous saying at the country also we come out. Now the bachelor's eve, now they know say this married, bang bang get for be sweet. Yeah. When the SLPP government take over, people like we come out straight away and begin call them out. Not all because we hate them, but not because we were Leonean first and continue to remain Salone first. Because we've been seeing the effort we then put into discouraging, disregarding others. What do I mean by this? Development is a process. So when you dismiss, allow for handovers for take place from your predecessors, say obviously that's going to create a vacuum and a problem. So there was something seriously amiss, and observers like we observed that and we tried to highlight that, but we were dismissed. And we say this is not going to work. And 7 years on, it's not working. You may come now media and try for challenge other people and make these disgusting claims them, that things are working and etc. You need for sure with the receipts. How is it working? Because with bare eyes, they see exactly that things are not working at all. Now, from one scandal to the other, put aside scandal. Let we look at the welfare of the Sierra Leonean people when are the penultimate goal of the government of any republic, of any country. Is it working for the people? No, it's not. And I keep making these comments every time I have an opportunity, to speak, that it's not working. You may tell us, don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe your lying ears. But, I mean, the eyes don't lie. Sometimes what you say might be mix up, box up, but the eyes don't lie. Now, what you choose for say. But in this case, we know say the structures are collapsing. And I will talk about this as well. How then they paint the picture rosy, but it's not all that rosy. I don't care how much lipstick you put on the pig. The pig go always continue for remain a pig. Fambulem, this na TNN podcast. And I ask una, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. we are stuck on a particular number and we need to move on. We know the antagonist then will say, this is why you're stuck on the number. No, this is not why. Yeah, because we get massive support globally. Now, people are now they use the effort, here for promote the platform in an efficient way. So if you don't subscribe, I ask you, please subscribe today. And ask others, ask family members for subscribe. You don't have to like the platform, per se, but with the entertain comments, just keep respectful. In as much as I express respect to you, I expect yourself to express respect towards me. It's reciprocal. That's what respect is. And that's all I ask for. Now, let's look at a few things. Diplomatic book. Yeah. I've been asking questions about diplomatic books for understand how it works. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And we for also know, say, standards don't drop now the country significantly. There is no argument about that. Standard has dropped. Proceedings, procedures, structures are not applicable. Because why? Even as much as we can once say, we country get democracy, but you get to ask yourself, maybe it's a kind of new style of democracy. Or the question is, what kind of democracy? So you go get for redefine that for we, which we don't seem to understand. Because you claim one set of democracy we will tend to understand, but the applicability or the tenets of this democracy, we never see them. Service passport. As far as my understanding concerned, service passport na where they can issue. I take notes, so now forgive me. Look whether I get me notes. Yeah, I need to get me notes because we need to get this kind of spot on. So from the understanding, looking at the way the foreign ministry work or how we supposed to operate, you get something where we call the diplomatic book. That I believe is the first criteria of books within the country and the foreign ministry in responsibility. So the foreign ministry now in the issue then diplomatic book there. Then a 1, 2, who that entitled to them books there. The people that we entitled to them book there now diplomats and consuls. Other categories than they, but the main one them diplomats because you get for travel under diplomatic book because it gets certain waivers. Where now in the problem now because when they issue unto you, when the intent is not good or deliberately government issue unto you, because they want to let you carry out certain acts them we are unbecoming of a nation, then there is a question there, and we will come to that shortly. But diplomats, foreign consuls, so a foreigner can get the book, but the basis under which the foreigner can get the book, now where you serve as a consul. Remember, say we get boku consul them na other country them, we probably will not get money for open an embassy because you get for open an embassy, you get for staff the embassy, and that means it come with money. So you can get some foreigner, then we can handle you issue in a particular country, and we get loads of them as a small country, small economy. That is understandable. So people that way they manage that kind consul day, who are largely foreigners, are also given diplomatic book because diplomatic, it covers you under diplomacy. We give you, extraordinary access and movement without being checked because now respect. You see, this is the thing. Until it is abused. I remember first time where people and get them book then day, it was a huge honor, a privilege. And the people that we've been getting are people that we've been well deserving of the book. Not now, as we speak. So consul them can get a book, they win a foreigner them. Because we ask the question, the reason why they lay emphasis on this, we ask the questions about foreigners having the book. A foreigner supposed to have the book. Yes, there are categories or situations where foreigner can get a book. And one of them, and most significant, now foreign consul them, where they represent the country in interest, now a foreign country. So they are foreigners, so they are issued this book, then are the understanding dandy. Other than that, diplomats them, people where they serve the country. But of course, these are Sierra Leoneans, they serve the country abroad or get movement them. Ministers them, because they get government business for go attend conferences, symposiums, workshops, which might be international. So for give them access to movement without hindrance. I think that's what the passport say. or why they try for recall, in terms of diplomacy, without let or hindrance, and think that the phrase that they use. And it might have changed. This not just on top of me, of me head. So when a diplomatic book is issued to you, you see again the fallback. Automatically, your spouse, be it your husband or your wife, automatically become eligible for a service book. Not only your spouse, but also you picking them. So under that auspices, the other people that can get them way sort of connected to you in many different ways. This is service book, so we don't come out diplomatic book and the one that we entitled. And once you get the diplomatic book, let's say you have been a diplomat, and then you get the diplomatic book. Therefore, you spouse them, you picking them also become entitled to a service book, which in itself they on a level of its own next to the diplomatic book. So the immunity where the diplomatic book enjoy, the diplomatic immunity where enjoy, the next one to them, the service book where you picking them go also enjoy other relatives there, because of course once you're there within that rank and file, you're there in a position for help others. The issue here is now the foreign office, and this is a significant one. The foreign office now responsible for issue this book. So when you issue this book they go to immigration, because get for some ceremony or protocols sort of involved, because visa has to be attached to this book. Remember, the book is powerful, this little red book that you see, but something else get for be attached to them where they make you for travel, go now all them places there where they call visa, where now in countries and they issue to you under this red book, which you entitled to or has been given to you, where they go to immigration. When you go to immigration, now foreign office now in the Senate day, this is not the protocol. When the foreign office Senate day, then it is sent out with a cover note, and we all know what cover note is or are. So send out with a cover note, and then on that basis, the immigration will issue or stamp whatever protocol they're supposed to do with this particular book. And once done, it doesn't go straight to the individual or individuals involved. It goes back to the foreign ministry for certification. That's how important the protocols are at the time. But this is being mashed up now. It's been mashed up in which anybody has been given service book, diplomatic book, service book. I mean, it's so rampant. What's important is when this government of retired Brigadier Julius Malabio come to power, the accusation of rampant corruption on many levels, degrees, it been so obvious in pronouncement, we run contradictory to what he say from inaugural speech, in first speech, where he take over, that he will be ruler, a leader for all Sierra Leoneans, for the length and breadth of Sierra Leone. But no moment that he acceded to power, within 90 days, the first 100 days, if we can recall, I know for we, it's a long time ago, but for some others, we've been observing this and we've been taking notes, and the archive is building up, going back to the historical analysis of when this president get in historic win, and then the speech the way he makes subsequently. But we've been noticing something wrong, because what was to follow was almost like a witch hunt. Because from day one, they went to work to make sure that then dismantle, disable the only party we go able for pose or threat to them. But that is a subject for another day. So the foreign office will request the immigration authorities, for issue a visa, for these people. So when the immigration office don't do what they're supposed to do, then they send them back to the foreign office. And that person, they go come to the foreign office. Just all this now vetting and verification process, which shows authenticity, which shows accountability, which shows transparency. This is what all responsible governments do. Because you can't be speaking on both sides of your mouth. When it suits you, you accept. When it not suits you, you disregard. When you're ready, you just kick the can down the road. As in the question, so you kick the can down the road instead of accepting. So ministers are also entitled, when issued outside of all of I mean, when the Foreign Office issued them this passport, apart from the Foreign Office, this is outside the executive coming in. And no say family let me they wait for this because then they wait for let you you sort of sleep. But yes, of course, the president get executive order and can issue the passports, okay, under executive order. But what you expect when the president they issue these passports is a moral standard, befitting the country where you lead, because this speaks a lot. You cannot take your diplomatic book and give to people who are undeserving of the book, who have been implicated or will potentially be implicated or waiting at the intent of why this person want this book. But of course, that will all have been vetted. But let me remember, say, sometimes it's not the president that issues the book directly to an individual. So I'm not going to be blaming the president here per se, although it bears certain responsibility. But we know, say, the way the thing works, people are waiting around the president, then get boku power and connection, and they can do these things without even the knowledge of the president. Because for let you day around that circle, it means say you are a bunch of trusted aides, trusted people. So you can do boku damage to the administration. But once in a while, the president self need for the check. Of course, not busy man, but when you don't choose them people and the way they around you, this is society you bear responsibility. These will have been men who are deserving of the office, who are deserving of being around the office of the president, who are deserving of your trust in them, the trust that you repose in them. They have to pay back in kind by justifying that they respect and trust who are you una go equally pay me back in equal measure, because we get responsibility for lift this country up to some level. But this has not been the case at all. We clearly know say corruption there on the rise. So the reason why they talk about this case that one, I think say we don't establish to some degree who are entitled to this book. So therefore, there comes recently the capturing of a drug lord. I think they call it AKA Don Vito. Of course, it's a Turkish national from waiting we understand. And as usual, as soon as the news break, every Jack and Harry feel say this is the way they will make a name for themselves, or just click or get clicks, here in the thousands and etc. But not care about the reputation or the damage that will be done, and just make comments and say things which eventually turn out for be untrue. But most people, of course, don't care. And in this case, many big alleged then got caught up in the mix, because of course it's a serious news and they want to break the news, so then commit whatever if they get any reputation left, because some of them had some reputation will be left, whatever left of them, then just do more damage to that, to a point now where then they try for draw some equivocation with other people and for say where you see this person don't say so, and that justify or vindicate what you have been saying. Does that make it right because the other person says so? And for once you they say because this person says so, suddenly you agree with them because in view now chime with you where you always disagree with them. I know they say you know for agree with them, but that does not justify what the person say. And what they try for say in this case is this guy who was apprehended in a sting operation by Interpol in conjunction with two countries there. I think he was captured in UAE, and then eventually Turkey, the national way turned out for B, they may not the fall around. So once then a UAE, then pass information to the UAE through Interpol on a red alert, something known as a red alert, and then capture this guy we then called Don Vito, along with a financial hitman, and then extradite them back to Turkey. And then suddenly this talk about Sierra Leonean diplomatic book, come na the scene, went viral, super viral, that everybody been away into RAM. A lot of people, like I say, got caught up because they're not waiting, for the substance of the story. Yes, you want to break the story, and there's nothing wrong with you breaking the story, but you have to be responsible in breaking the story, what you say and how you say what you say, because it might come back to haunt you if you care for your reputation, if you've got any, by the way, and that's really significant. Well, this guy, to me, understanding, I mean, from all with me, don't look, and I don't look deep, or I miss something. And if anybody get any information, of course, the platform is interactive. please submit unto me. I still try to find out who said this diplomatic book come out. Does this guy have a diplomatic salon book? It's not impossible, but at that night in kitchen with, and the answer here lies in the fact that if na in the kitchen with and na in be do transaction with, then obviously he will be categorized as a Sierra Leonean. And in deportation matters, then he will be sent to Salon. Okay? This makes sense to me that you'll be sent to Salon because now the book down the way they kitchen with. So that pronounce him as a Sierra Leonean national. So why would you want to send him elsewhere when you get documents for proof say in a Sierra Leonean? But he wasn't sent to Sierra Leone. He was sent to Turkey. Okay? I don't know what transpired there because maybe there are some other things. But me just to say, in this case, it makes absolute sense. So who said this diplomatic book thing come out? Is it rumor where somebody just fear, we just spark immediately and catch fire? And again, government responsible because the government has been irresponsible of some sort in all their issue there. They have not been forthcoming. So every little rumor where you put out there, it catch fire. And it's not strange that they've been issuing diplomatic books and service books to non-deserving people. Remember, in all of this, there is a guy apparently in Sierra Leone, caught on the camera of the first lady of the country in a church service within the immediate vicinity of the president, a drug lord who is wanted. International arrest warrant there for the guy. This now yachts, Leideckers, we in a Dutch national, we cause them problem because talking a drug hub. And this is where we therefore draw the line again for see whether we get a connection to the airport, where the Turkish have got massive interest, okay? And up till now, that in they run them. And you just get for imagine, Fambulem, what exactly they happen, and the parallel the way you can draw between drug smuggling, drug lords, the hub, one of the hub, the epicenter of a significant geolocation of the world, which is Turkey, which they between the Middle East, if you like, or Asia, and then Europe. So imagine at the epicenter that one day, and it's bubbling, it's buzzing, it's, there's a lot happening in there. And for some reason, we get a lot of interest in Turkey, investment-wise, developmental-wise, including way airport. We're not a gateway both to in the country and outside the country. So you can imagine if people can get power, if people can get ways and means, if people can get connections, or the people that really run the airport, authorities, okay, are connected with these dubious characters, how easy it is, because now that people can look for in terms of struggling. Connection within a country who is vulnerable, because again, you are cash strapped, so therefore you're vulnerable, and then the offers of millions will go to the pockets, not to the country, the pockets of unscrupulous officials. But of course, they will give way. And I want for Puzit to fumble them that in this thesis, this is a likelihood, this is a possibility, that there is an arc, there is a line drawing between Salon, Turkey, and then the rest of the world as a route for this smuggling operation on a higher level, in which there is not only complicity, because there's a difference between complicity and participation. But in this case, not only complicity, but participation by people within our official circles who are kind of involved in this trade. Because this trade cannot flourish on that level if there's not a participation of officials, people in high power, people with connections who are helping to facilitate the process. And the process has become rampant. It's now an epidemic in the country. And gradually, foreign governments are beginning to name us as such. So, I mean, the irony of this all is 7 years ago, we had a president who promised the nation that he was going to clean up this nation, that this nation was filthy, has been packed with filth, with dirt, especially internationally. Forget about the inside, because this number we. So maybe we will try for sort with problem, but we need to go outside for clean the nation in name. But then 7 years on, well, I can't say more, because if you not get yes for Yeri by now, If you not get eye for your E by now, I mean for C by now. If you not the yeast, the wax too much, and you eye the scale too much that you're not able for pull up, then you yourself, you are complicit in this damage that's been done to the country. And for those of you where they come out, we not get the moral fortitude for say what it is. Not even come out because maybe there are, I still hold you responsible, but there are super interest of yours where they inhibit you come out one, for can't talk with you, supposed for talk with you, But the idea and the worst one is the one the way they come out.
I'm leaving now. For sense break.
Okay. All right, family. Sorry for that little thing. So it's unfortunate that the one the way they come out for still can't defend at this point in time. It's a problem. It's a real problem, and this is why the lies continue. So we don't understand, a little bit about this service book, who that it can be issued to diplomats, and the process where it's supposed to go through. And other than that, of course, the president with executive orders can jump inside under EO and issue them book there. But you also expect, say, like I say, when the president they issue them book there, now on the basis of trust, because not only the president they go vet the other people that were involved. Now officials then within in circle, and sometimes they can get a panel of people then when they then go get comment and say, well, this person is deserving of this. Well, then people then they can be unscrupulous. So sometimes the president himself can get caught. But when you get caught, then heads need for role. And this is where the problem is. We need to see consequence way for serve as a deterrent. So the picture what I paint, I try not for blame the president because the president boku work for do. And it depend on others then for help and for do this work. But where it choose these people then for can help and for do this work, these now people them where it trust. So if they fall short of in trust, then they need for bear the consequences. And sometimes not only sacking, but also court actions, pay back, and etc. But none of this has happened. None of this. And these are all facts. I'm not making this up and conjuring it out of thin air. No. All we see is when it becomes obvious that somebody don't go foul of the trust reposed in that person, and it's become a national issue, the president go remove them and recycle them like a revolving door sort of stuff and send them elsewhere, or put on a bench force. Let it sit on there while they issue the code. Because one thing we know of this government is they understand how time can heal wounds, and how the scandals are so many that one scandal in a matter of days, if not weeks, will die down and will move to the other because people get for go hustle. There's so much hard time in the country that yes, you go talk about until day when it broke out today and maybe the next day, but you get for move on because there are other important things. You get your life for leave. You get you picking them for look after, or your family for look after. You get actions then where you get for take for make sure say your life, you try for help yourself in life. You get rent for pay. You get lunch money for pull for the picking them. Free and quality education. We know say people are paying, if not direct school fee, but other things them, and you're not getting paid. So you get for the rakul you aid. I remember me late mama, me like that word, rakul you aid and a money meter. Yeah, may I so rest in peace. Sarah Boy, Cocker, Komani Cocker. Yeah, from a chieftaincy family from Rotiful. Direct hint to those of you who say me not foreigner. Yeah. So this is what it is. And I've been on to call this bullshit out from day one. And people then begin for, throw all kind of things at me, including the kitchen sink. Not because I didn't love my country, not because I didn't appreciate the government. Those who know. Because 7 years ago, 8 years ago, the videos are there. Come at this platform, and check me videos up. We get over, on Facebook, we get over 1,000 videos. On YouTube, where we come to later, we get over 700 and plus videos and counting. So check the records before you make the accusations. But you don't expect me to criticize APC to this day, 7 years of your administration, where you've taken responsibility, where the direction of the country is totally in your hands. You are the sailor, you are the captain of the ship. Anything that should go wrong is your responsibility. You can't pass the responsibility to somebody else and say, oh, well, I know there was a crack on the mast and this and that and what have you. The boat don't go under, but they stand him up. Come on, that's all bullshit. And that's what we've been calling out. And 7 years on, you're still coming out for can't defend this nonsense. It doesn't work anymore. And we don't say we get the one a week and one downplay the issue about media. I mean, if you don't understand the power of media, then you are seriously a joke. And if you feel that people are not listening and taking note, that this is not going to have an impact and an effect in time to come, it does not have to be immediate. Yeah, it takes a while. But certainly, surely, things are going to change. One thing which is constant, and this is so philosophical, this is so profound for me, and this is so relevant and so very true, is change itself. Change is the only constant. Nothing remains the same. What an ability you put over a period of time, there's an effect on it because of climate change. Climate, the weather, it has an impact on a structure. I don't care how solid that structure is. So the same thing is true of our politics. And the politics cannot remain the same if it's not benefiting the people. Even when they benefit the people and they aspire for more. There are aspirations of people for the good things in life. And if you're not giving them that, this is where the problem lies. Fambula, the corruption of our country, it don't take all kind level and all kind shape, and we need for the call them out. The country is in a deep, deep mess. I know people are painting or trying to paint a rosy picture. Some people now on the basis of optimism, hope. Yeah, but we hope, which is good. And we talked about that yesterday. I host a fine gentleman, Mr. Hassan Mara, and we talk about hope over fear, which was very key. But we also talk about policy over slogan. Not a slogan that no more you go to give it for it, and the slogans are not working. It's policies that works. You design them, you study them, you look at what the people want. How effective can that policy be? What would be the benefits of that policy? You effect them, you put them into a pilot stage, but of course you will have done your due diligence and no say, but this boy, if I work for the people, let's look for job prospects, how they create job. And if people work, people become engaged. They become gainfully employed. Gainfully employed means they will derive something from that employment which is of benefit to them. So they give their service, and for the services that they give, they are paid. And when they're paid, the country benefits. Because you got a happy family, you got a happy nation, and they contribute to the tax regime in the country. So the country, they make money out of it as well, and able for do other things them for facilitate a fine country, whether not for repair roads, repair hospital, employ more people. This is the way it functions, not on propaganda. You tell me about Toma bomb. But 7 years on, but this is not the longest rice project ever in the entire world. And if Guinness Book World Records go ever hear about this, and I think we need for tell Guinness Book World Records for go study this project so that it go enter into their books as the longest rice project ever, which is yet to bear a seed. And you've eaten billions out of this project. But yet you continue for add more lipstick than the pig. But it's not working anymore. I mean, the game is up. You can't continue for pull rabbits come inside bag. No one is following you into those rabbit holes any longer. Now one road, and we see the road for what it is for. So back to the issue is this guy was captured in Turkey, in UAE, and extradited to Turkey. Me the posit now say, if he had a Sierra Leonean passport, service book for that matter, which he was using, and on that basis they didn't capture him, then obviously he will have been extradited to Sierra Leone. Potentially, maybe, they say there are other prospects around this. Turkey request in extradition. And in fact, now Turkey don't work with the UAE and others with the Interpol right now in the middle. They observe, they pass intel, and etc. So eventually, when he was captured, he was sent to Turkey because obviously he bears a Turkish name. And not because he bears a Turkish name means obviously a Turkish national, he may have renounced his Turkish nationality. He may have been nationalized in another country, holds another country passport, potentially Sierra Leonean diplomatic book. But I still they ask if anybody know any source we say this guy get diplomatic book, he was captured with a diplomatic book or a diplomatic book was issued to him. Please let me know because I spent quite a while and I think I get few research capabilities then. I was unable to, other than speculations, from a vast number of people, and some people high profile or so-called high profile. So I see few comments, like just seeing the comments because maybe somebody will have been generous enough for tell me about about it. Okay, me, dear brother, we disagree for agree most times, but love him all the more. As Thomas Rogers, he's there. You made go okay. Might have been saying something. We can speak in tongues sometimes. George Walker is here as well. George Walker, welcome. Thank you very much. This is my first time on this platform. Well, George, I want to say welcome to the platform and many thanks for your first time, and I hope not you last. And I hope so you go help me for share the platform across the aisle. And I want for you let you subscribe, and if you can tap on the notification bell so you don't get to miss any of our broadcast. And also, if you can subscribe and ask others to subscribe, we would deeply appreciate this. Many thanks, George. George also going for say, are you a descendant of Paramount A.G. Coker? Yes, I'm from the Coker family. It's a good question that you ask. Yes, I am. Roti Funk, per se, my granddaddy had been section chief, Samuel R. Coker, okay? He was the section chief, from Kangama. And Sarah, obviously, from the Coker family. And you get Francis Coker, you get Samuel Coker. I think he's in Maryland now. We're not a younger brother. Francis don't die, my mama don't die. Samuel, the other one, still there. And of course, it's a huge family, but we'll talk about this another time. Many thanks for that. It seems like you are from there or you know a few things about the Cockers. And thank you so much. So, drug lord Don Vito, Abdullah Alp Ostun, Abdullah Alp Ostun was captured in UAE and extradited, and that blow up na media, okay? And the interest of we Sierra Leoneans there is that it possesses a Sierra Leonean book. Now let's look at the Turkish connection to we country via or right now the middle the airport. So a lot of this is hypothesize. I want for hypothesize. In other words, hypothesis. But one for create the circumstances will make them almost real, if you like. Because this is what happens anyway. So the circumstances, it give strong gravitas to the case that I'm about to make in terms of the connection. It will be called the Turkish connection. So we know say we not get much of an investment in Europe and other countries there. Largely we investments not Turkey nationals, Turkish companies, and etc. We relationship with Europe largely is bilateral. Then give we loan, then give we grant, help with this here and there, and etc. But projects them, larger ones them, is Turkey. Okay. Okay, let's see what Thomas say. Diplomatic passports are also issued to MPs, CJ, eminent citizens at the pleasure of the president. Yes, many thanks for that. And I'm not denying that. I didn't emphasize all of that, but I did say the president can intervene. So the president has executive powers, Mr. Rogers, to issue diplomatic books to people of eminence. And I did stress that Did you hear the word that you yourself use? People of eminence. But when it turned out to be in the hands of people who are not eminent, people who are not deserving, people who turn out to be crooks and criminals, then there lies the question. Of course, many thanks for that, and that's very true. There's no question about that, Mr. Goroji. So yeah. So largely investments are with Turkish nationals, and this is what's happening across the aisle, whether not it's farm, whether not tractor business, whether not the proposition for the Lunge Bridge, whether not the airport, which was built at exorbitant, extraordinary cost. Okay, it was the Turkish involvement. The Turks have made an inroad into we society, and I'm not going to accuse them on public television of being criminals, of course, but there are question marks alongside these investments. And in time to come, these stories will come out. But then there was this multi-million, hundreds of millions, over 300 million spent on an airport. And we still wait for the dividend. Yes, the airport is there, and the arguments have been, for some people, it's like, well, the airport is ours, it's on our ground, and etc. So even though the money was too much, but it's ours in time to come. Well, there is an argument to that, true, but the cost to us and the duration over a period and the deal, the contract that was signed, is not in our favor, because normally when you sign a contract there, it's far-sighted for be beneficial to the country in the long run. But in this case, there are so many question marks, because even a 25 to 30-year period, which I believe there's a clause in there in terms of extension, because the people can forget their money back. And remember, some officials of government, they get shares out of that airport day where they go in their pockets. High-ranking government officials, of course. That's how the contract was awarded. But based on inflation, and we know market value now, how it's so volatile, how things they happen. England, so the highest inflation rate is supposed to come in play in the next few days or weeks. Things are getting, somehow topsy-turvy, upside down. So that's so it affect the cost of this airport. So the time they extend. So either you increase how much you pay, or you extend the time, because of course the investors need the money. But here is the catch. So the people then they run the airport. These same people, not us, but of course it's in conjunction with us, but not really us, especially critical areas. So then they participate in the security aspect of the airport. And I suppose I go posit to una say, on this basis, it go turn like say, then actually they call the shots. We are only something like figureheads there. Okay? Figureheads. And we know say the head of the police, the head of immigration, who are supposed to be the bosses and the man them with them deployed, they are all in the take. So the reality is the people that are actually running this airport are the Turks. So therefore, our position to UNA, it becomes a hub for the transatlantic, if you like. And I so name them because either it come by sea or it come by air, but then get a sanctuary. And this is a national entity. It's a bona fide airport. It's a legal airport of a country. We now then they use as a route, because they don't penetrate with government system through bribery and etc., in which government officials of the highest kind are involved. And I don't say this ordinarily, and I don't find pleasure in saying this. But again, I've been telling you, I say the circumstances look right. And when I say the circumstances look right, not very long ago, a diplomat, and I talk about a diplomat to Guinea, was caught or nabbed, if I can use a drug term, with drug and unaccounted money for inside a diplomat vehicle, which obviously was being used. So you see how you can use them things they are, for get through. Diplomatic book, please let without let or hindrance, give all necessary respect deserving of this little red book. And then criminal officials that it is given to, then begin to abuse this book, bringing disrespect and criminal, profile to the country, in which all of us who carry this book or this nationality or come up from this location called Sierra Leone, we all become a victim of not crimes that we commit, but which others commit. And then we are profiled on this basis. So why should we tolerate these kind of things? Why shouldn't we talk about these things? Why shouldn't we call out names, people, officials, government who facilitate, who help, who expedite this kind of process? Why shouldn't we? So you see, a diplomat, and we know the effort where the Sierra Leone government make for mass this case quickly and try to get this guy. The Guinean government was reluctant in the first place. They say, no, the guy was detained, a diplomat. His vehicle was confiscated with hard evidence. Hard evidence. Did you hear me? Hard evidence. What more? And that now one local level just between borders. Because that's the hub, So now I make a call on transatlantic. Some come by ship. Then put them by road, cross-cut them inside. Transportation, move them through government officials who are supposed to be respected. Now then they participate in this trade. They bring disrepute to the country. I mean, this is totally uncalled for. So on a larger scale, it comes on side and then the distribution. One such distribution happens so with the ambassador to Guinea and a diplomatic vehicle being used. Don't you see how damaging this is to the country? And then you still want paint, add more lipstick on the pig, and you feel say the pig will change suddenly because you put lipstick. A pig will always be a pig. And this is the bullshit that people like us are calling out. This is exactly what we are calling out. And we call this out with an open mind. Not out of prejudice, not out of hate. Of course, hate is not part of my bone. But it's about country first. It's about the dignity. It's about the oath of office. It's about the pledge to defend Sierra Leone at all times. Famulem, the game is up. The gig is up. Some of the reasons why the country they suffer so, and all the money when they make there from the entry there, the people are not benefiting. They may give you a project here and there. Like, for example, I see the president going to some rest factory. Is this new? No, it's not new. This goes back. It didn't the book of propaganda. When the then minister for chief minister, Professor Francis, was in power, same thing they did. Then Afaf Rest Farm, the way they get, we talk about nation, but the Afaf Rest Farm, the way they get, they use them as a propaganda tool for fool us, because all things they want buy a little window, 1 month, 3 months, they want buy them. So the farm, the way they get, where they harvest, they get 20 bag rest, 200 bag rest, because these are government officials, so they get access, to companies and power and money and loans. Same Turkish company or go Vietnam, Minister of Agriculture, where the guy named Webbing, they get some false, a doctorate degree under Dominion here, where they expose them. I mean, these are the kind of people that we're talking about. Henchmen. Then take the bag rest, then package them, put it inside bag. And it looks so nice, where you stack up bags of rice. And which is shown at the 4-corner camera, like, for example, exactly what thing they happen to what they do so. I didn't have my studio, but now also my camera focus on the 4-corner now you see now your TV. Okay? If I were to turn my camera elsewhere, you will see some other part of me studio, probably way not desirable, where I no one for let you see. But this is the focus. So then put 1,000 bag rest. And you talk about a nation of 8.5 million. So 1,000 bag rest, now a 4-corner TV, it made quite a scene. And that cannot feed the nation, but that was propaganda. Oh, well, the rest, this, that. Just think about Toma Bomb. 7 years, 8 years going. Baby money, now they eat. for that project. Wait. The same Turkish investment become inside later. This is after the IMF and the European Union, and they eat all that money. They macolum. They eat a macolum. She not come up from there. Wait, then resurrect the project back. This time now under some Turkish investment. Can't explain to we. As if we big fool. And don't say every day we wise up. Fambulem, this has to stop. It has to stop. You can't continue for once we face go up. But it's not rosy at all in the country. The suffering, the poverty level is huge. And all they continue for do now for propagate propaganda to we consistently. Because of course, they're not study them. Just continue for feed them. Tell them lies as many times as you can. It will be accepted as truth. It's kind of Orwellian, upside down, topsy-turvy. That's what they're doing to us. Don't believe it. What you see. Listen to we. What you will tell you now, alternate reality. Yes. But what they do, the lily money when they make, when they generate out of revenue, and then other didiba deal them, some of them what I just explained, and take on and pay them, lobby group them, Europe, now America, and give access to the president, to Bill Gates. They make Fatima Bio president of ECOWAS women. How does that put food on the table? Because now the priority of the Sierra Leonean people. Who will disagree with me on that basis? Who? So the Sierra Leonean people are not interested in that because priority-wise, now food on the table, where you don't feed you people them, you don't make them gainfully employed. I mean, they are happy, a happy nation, and then they bring their accolades there home. The people celebrate with you. It's a natural thing that will happen. You don't have to force it down their throat. But our country, they do well, bro. Yeah, look, Mohamed Kalon. You know, even the national team, the spirits they up a high. Because why the players them then say get family and there's a trail and the family them are happy. They not just depend on them about and they where they go play, where they give them per diem and get for cut pan and give family for survive, and this not just for a period of time. No, it's not sustainable. It's not. This is why policy over slogan is very, very important. Stop getting carried away by slogan. And the white Mike Berewa the other day, I think that he and some MP, AKK, they try for bring AKK because there's so much for talk about. Yeah? Talk about rest, plantation, days on side, and what have you. They simply ask who side the journalists, them, where the pin name now, Khadija also. Who side this rest family? You know. I mean, the guy can't really say that in the propaganda in chief for the administration, not spokesman for the president, no, the official spokesman is Alpha Khan. But at least you are there representing the government and the president. Who's idea? That guy began go, and you know why he was doing it? Because there was no answer. It irritates the Peking the way they do the interview, the girl the way they do the interview. This is what we are dealing with. Let's see some more comments because we need to close the show. We really need to close the show. Yeah, this is my first time on this platform here. Last George Walker. Yeah, I'm Goruji. Okay, this is Robert Cabo. What it says, Prince, you should try and contact some journalists in Turkey. Yes, I did, and probably by the end of this show, I go don't get some reports, but also I check all Turkish TV and newspapers, you know, and use the Google Translator for translate their story. Then they. I not really see anything. Maybe they miss out that. So we will see. We will see. Yeah, we will see. Well, many thanks for that advice. Stephen Yale, bring the leader of electoral injustice, Mr. Warite, to the show, please. You cannot discuss this topic without the leader. But not to the topic. I'm not talking about electoral injustice. Electoral injustice now Imran they do on this evening at 8 o'clock. That's 1 hour, 5 minutes from now. Imran will be on this platform with there's a guy called Charles Halston. Yeah, Charles Halston is a former electoral officer. So Imran the host them. So yes, he'll be talking about electoral injustice and the consequence. Stephen Yale, come on, man. You know they follow. Okay, Mr. Walker. The bottom line is the caliber of the diplomatic staff had gone down the drain. When we look back with diplomats like Davison Nichols, Sierra Leone, Maturi, Richard, Kelfa Cocker, Reverend Fitzjohn, to name but a few. Many thanks for that. And I want to speak to that quickly. And I absolutely agree with the brother. standards has gone down. I mean, there was a time when, and then names their way names. So these are mighty names. These are legends. Well, some of them have gone to the great beyond. May their souls rest in peace. But the foreign ministry of a country is responsible, for all foreign activities them regarding diplomacy now for we country to other country them. So it should be a highly respected, and once upon a time, like the brothers say, a highly respected institution. Protocols has to be observed. Procedures and processes has to be carried out. In the picking of diplomats, you can't take, yes, sometimes a political appointment and for a long time you don't become rotting. But the essence of the thing is you get people in a bench where they study, understudy. Because now diplomats, they it's like where you go school. You can't just jump to class 6 or class 7 and go take selective. You're bound for fail. You don't understand the rubrics of what is supposed to happen in the curriculum. When they take you up to that level, they take you the seat selective for move on to the other echelon in terms of your schooling. Middle school and call in America, I believe. Secondary school, we call them. So no, you can't. So you get first sit on a bench and they understudy little bit. They waiting and they talk under. You attend workshop they under. Wait, it is until you get one junior appointment in neighboring countries. Them like here they make you one consul day, Guinea, then you go land and wait because there's a period, there's a window, and then you come back. You don't go land small thing. You can't sit on a bench. Yeah, opportunity come back because of which you don't go land. Then elevate you. So promotion through the ranks based on which you give. That was it. That was the procedure. Civil servants and etc. But everything don't become political. And now you were a radio host and you host the president fine. You talk fine about him, and you really not ask the pertinent questions. You only they say waiting and they say you they abrogate your journalistic duties them. Only waiting and they tell you for say or waiting and they say now you the echo. You become an echo chamber instead of a journalist or a reporter or broadcaster supposed to be for whole power to account. In other words, you are saying what you see. No waiting and they tell you. Like the president say. Yes, the president say, yes, you can say that. But waiting you say. Because there's a storyline, there's a punchline there. So you're absolutely right, my brother. Many thanks for that contribution, George. Yeah, those men represented our country. I believe you mean without distraction. Peter Dowder, what does Peter say here? Wherever you find capitalism, there is inequality. Yes, Peter. You sound like Karl Marx. And I do agree with you. I just to say that. So, but the real issue here is then they spend all their massive money there for pay lobby groups in America. If you see the president go sit down near Bill Gates, now lobby, then lobby in America, and you get for pay because you get institutions them. You get organizations where them business now for organize for you for, for put powder on your face or put lipstick on your lip and make you look okay to you people them. Whereas it's not okay. The falsity about the whole thing. You're not fine, but then paint you up and make you fine and give you a different sort of look where go make people appreciate you. But they pay money and good sum of money to their lobbying group there. So when you see them, they come abroad, they say the president, they can't speak now Oxford. You feel for understand, say they've spent the tune of millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars that could have gone towards development of the country. That's the basis on which the president can speak now Oxford for what? Waiting at the priority, I just say earlier, like when they say Fatima, the president of the Gambian, I say Gambia, forgive me, African first ladies or West African first ladies, whatever. How significant is this in terms of food on the table for people the way they suffer? Come on now. You can't put the cart before the horse. The president can speak now Oxford. Speak about what the other day, now so picking and they inside, here with the president. I mean, this is so funny. And then you come. The president come to parliament. They host in one room. But the headline is the president speaks to UK parliament. UK parliament. When in one room, he can meet one MP. And that back in a lobby in a pay 9 MP. This is not helpful for the country, Fambulem. And if we can't join hands for continue for call this out, I mean, there's a problem. There's really a problem. Now, just take note of the last contributions here. George Walker today, those protocols are no longer followed. Nepotism and tribal loyalty are the new way. Absolutely, and that's why I'm speaking to George. George, now you first time about this contribution, the way you make. No, okay, this is not Ronald Georgetown. He was on the platform yesterday. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ronald. I remember the name Georgetown. So yes, we get George Walker as well. Yeah, many thanks to you guys. Okay, here's George Walker. Ronald, by the way, I agree with you. Not forgetting Khalifa Smart and Dr. Peter Tucker. If you read their autobiographies, they tell you what life was like as a diplomat. Yes, my dear brother. And there goes Khalifa Smart again, another product from Rotifunk. That's where Dr. Khalifa Smart was. Yeah. Did leave side his brother, whom I knew, you know. Yeah, I see him brother. I think a big brother or small brother. So we come up from City Road and the pub in the other side of Rotifunk Day. Yeah. So last comment for today. George Walker, big time Ronald. These men and the few women serve their country with yeah, absolutely. I do agree. But this is not the thing, and we all get responsibilities. You might like the regime, you might not like the other. But what do you put first? Which are your priority? Is it not country first? We not say all things something, you're kind of topsy-turvy. As long as the thief now you thief, it's not a problem. You go continue for cover run. But how does that help the country? The black hole with the inside is unbelievable. Now, only after this government leave, when they go begin for do the assessment, evaluation, and then you find out the destruction that's been done to the country. It's reversible, but it's going to take a huge while. Because for the debt ceiling, we don't even know how much is gone in terms of debt. And all them bad things there where they happen, look at the flowers of the nation. Fambulem, every good thing must come to an end. Imran Toure, they 1 hour from now, and they come and talk on electoral injustice and the consequences of that injustice day, along with a former electoral officer, Arthur Harrison. Tomorrow, I will host 4 APC people. That will be Pape Arun, that will be Khalid Kamara, and that will be Mohamed Conte, and I will host William as well of ASMEG. When at the APC media unit, the head for the APC media, social media unit, if you like. Like I say again, every good thing must come to an end. This is not a message where they expect everybody for help for share. You may not agree. We may disagree to agree, but what comes first is the country. And I'm sure you won't deny that. And waiting an outline, if you get problem with that, and make it known. But these are just the fact. We have to respect protocols. But all of that is gone through the window, like George say, and Ronald. And God, many thanks for participating. Appreciate that. Until we catch up again, Fambol, it's been a TNN podcast production. I'm Prince Emil Krumah. Catch you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.